All emo.
Okay. You got wine. I got lemonade. Cheers, y'all. I could hear the fuzz in yours.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm excited to be back. Welcome back to Tiny Table Talk. Good evening, everybody. I'm Crystal.
Sorry. That was the chair.
I'm done. And this is
Lily.
And that was the chair.
That was the chair.
I'm so happy that you guys decided to join us this Friday and hang out with us. She told me not to be laughing, and I'm already laughing.
I know it's gonna go horrible, but it's okay.
But
it's okay.
We're gonna talk spooky shit anyway, and it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have fun. So grab your cafecito, your tea, your wine, your lemonade, whatever you've got tonight. Get cozy because we're gonna dive into some seriously spooky stuff, per whatever Lily said. Because
Y'all know I have one hell of a story, like a story that I'm not even lying to you guys. I literally had to go sleep at my parents' house because I could not sleep by myself after hearing these two stories.
I was stalking you, and you definitely were at our mom's house.
I was there all night and I didn't sleep.
Crazy.
So I still didn't sleep.
What do you mean you didn't sleep?
I did not sleep. I fell asleep and I would sleep for like maybe the max 15 minutes and then I would wake up and I would go back to sleep and then wake up. I think I got a solid 2 hours of sleep after 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so I'm interested in this story and I can't wait to hear it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so tonight's episode is called Let's Talk About Spooky Shit because, Lily's got a great story to tell us. I don't feel like my story is spooky at all. Mine is just weird.
But it's good though because it's a dream, so
yeah.
We're gonna dive into dreams.
So again, Tiny Table Talk has always been about curiosity, whether it's psychology, dreams, spirituality, folklore, or just, really strange experiences. This is a place where we can talk about that kind of stuff without making people feel crazy for asking questions. So again, if you ever have anything you want to share with no judgment, send us a DM because we are all ears and we may ask to share it, but it'll be anonymous.
Yeah, we can definitely keep it anonymous, but definitely feel free to message me or Crystal and send us your stories, send us your experiences.
Yeah. So some of you guys are here tonight because you love dream symbolism. Some of you are here because you've had paranormal experiences. Some of you are here because Mercury retrograde has been beating your ass.
Y'all, wasn't this Mercury retrograde specifically for Aquarius?
Girl, I don't know because look at what happened to me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm done. And I want to hear Mercury retrograde stories because this has been by far the craziest one I think I have ever lived and that I've heard other people experience. So,
yeah. I've been seeing a lot of stories like on TikTok saying like this is like the worst one they've experienced.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about what it is that I've experienced. Not now, but like later. Yeah, kind of crazy because it's so crazy. Anyways, yeah, so some of y'all are here because Mercury retrograde beating your ass. Some of you are just nosy, and honestly, same.
That's my job. Literally
that is your job.
That is my job, to be nosy.
So tonight I'm going to start with a dream that it's been sitting on my mind for some weeks now. I remember when I sent it to you and you were like, the hell?
Yeah, I remember reading it. I was like, hello?
It wasn't scary and it wasn't a nightmare. It was just really weird. It was really off. But it's one of those things that, woke me up and I was like, what the hell was that?
It'd be like that.
But it actually meant something. So that's the great news. So this is how the dream went. This was back in... Trying to remember.
19, throw it out the window.
No, it was like it was like the end of May, maybe beginning of June. So it's been some weeks. Yeah. Okay. So I had a dream where I saw people. Actually, let me give the actual breakdown here. Yeah. So yeah, I dreamt I was standing in the parking lot of an HEB. Okay. people had gathered there. They were all dressed in black, but they did not look normal. They almost reminded me of the characters from the Dr. Seuss books.
Like with the big nose and like.
Yeah. But they were dressed in like black. Like they were kind of like, like Mickey Mouse Goofy.
Yeah.
He's dark, but he's like, they wear clothes but they looked like Dr. Seuss characters.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, they were trying to, it's almost like they resembled dogs. So yeah, like Goofy / Dr. Seuss. Nobody was really talking. Everyone was simply looking up at the sky. So when I looked into the sky, I understood what everyone was looking at. There was a full moon. Mind you, I think this was leading up to the full moon at that point. It was low in the sky and it was rare. It was like, from certain angles, you could see that the moon had an eye, like a whole pupil in it. And, it was like an actual pupil looking back at me. Sorry. And I remember realizing that I couldn't see it from every direction, right? So only certain angles would reveal the eye. Eventually, I went inside the HEB because I needed to buy something. I was at HEB for a reason, okay? Second I walked in, I felt off, like completely off. And people were acting weird. And nothing obvious had happened. It's just something like I could feel and I knew. And then I ran into an old coworker, which was the chaplain at my old job. Now that I think about it, I was like, who was that old coworker? And I remembered it was the chaplain at the old job. And he asked me to help him find a lost item, except I already knew it wasn't a lost item. It had been a stolen item and it was gone, basically. As I walked through the store searching, I saw a man hiding behind a staircase, facing away from everyone, behaving in a way that made me turn away immediately, if you know what I mean. Okay. And I remember thinking people are acting really weird. And then I finally spotted Josh. And then between us, there was a woman lying on the floor and she started kicking me. And he tries to grab her legs to stop her. You know how Rory kicks. Mm-hmm. And then you grab him and it's like that, like a baby. Mm. And she was exposed as she was struggling. And then in the chaos of all that, he freaking slaps the crap out of her. He slaps the lady and to stop her attack. And then she screamed, but then she looked directly at my soul in my eyes and she starts laughing. Like wicked laugh, like
Insidious laugh.
Yeah. Mm. And then I looked at Josh and I was like, let's get out of here. People are acting really weird.
The whole dream, Crystal.
Yeah.
People are acting so weird.
Yes, literally. All I wanted, and honestly, at that point, all I wanted was to go back outside and look at the moon. And then I woke up.
Damn, so you didn't even make it back to the moon?
No, but like the moon was already mooning, you know?
Right. The moon was mooning.
Yeah. So, I think the part that stayed obviously the most was the moon. I don't know what was going on with everything else. I had to go investigate. And then I kind of broke it down because there was actually a message and all that. Mm-hmm. So when it comes down to the moon, I started asking myself, why was there an eye in the moon? Why was it only visible from certain angles? And why was everybody gathered around it looking up at it? So across the cultures, the moon often symbolizes intuition, mystery, hidden truths, cycles, and the subconscious. And an eye often represents awareness, perception, or seeing beyond appearances, right? So what's fascinating wasn't just the eye, it was that you could only see it from certain angles.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what...
So that made me wonder, what if some truths are hidden from us? What if we simply need a different perspective to recognize them? Mm-hmm. Which in that point of time, I could read sorry. I could resonate with that, right? Because it was a point in time when I had a specific idea for what life was supposed to look like or what life was going to be looking like. and then it did not turn out that way. And then there was a bunch of truths revealed all at the same time about why it didn't turn out that way. Talk about living life as a lesson learned, right? Yeah.
That's so deep that you're like, that you just made that comment, because I was actually thinking about that today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like what I told you, or like
what you just said right now.
Okay.
About how you thought life would be in a specific way.
Oh, okay.
And it turned out to be like completely different.
Yeah. I remember I saw your post earlier. I was like, you know what? I didn't even think about how that fits together.
Yeah, that correlated.
Okay. So yeah, definitely. And I had to be shifted into the perspective that what I expected is not what came out to be, right? So it was not until things didn't turn out the way as planned or as wanted that I was able to see the truth about many other things. So it makes a lot of sense. The moon in tarot is also about illusion and hidden truth. So hand in hand.
Yeah.
So then there's the people, right? They were not actual dogs, but they resembled dogs. They were dressed theatrically, almost like they were performing. So what do you think that could symbolize?
You're asking about them staring at the moon?
Yeah, like the masses basically.
Like
all together, dressed the same, looking up at the moon.
It almost could be like some kind of way of your conscious self saying like, it's right in front of you. Like, here it is, just look. Because you made it a point to say in the dream that you saw these people, specifically a large group of people that were just staring at the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what clearer sign do you need than that to tell you, hey, look up to the sky. The moon is right there in front of your face.
But I was the one aware of it, right? I don't know. Yes, but I feel like also like because there's masses of people too.
Mm-hmm.
It's about following. Maybe it could be about following the crowd, or a specific role that you play amongst the crowd because you're not with the crowd. You're apart from the crowd.
Right.
Maybe they're not seeing the eye. Maybe only you're seeing the eye.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Or even trying to fit in with the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to hear what everyone thinks.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So then I walk into the HEB. Everything shifts. Outside there was mystery and inside there's chaos. I just realized how that fits into what I present versus what's going on half the time inside me. So what's interesting again is that nothing obvious happens at first. I could just feel that something wasn't right. And I think a lot of us have moments like that. You walk into, I don't know, a room full of people, a meeting, a gathering, and before anyone says a word, something inside you says something is off. And that is your gut. So listen to it when it happens that way. Have you ever had that feeling and later realized your intuition was right?
Multiple times I've had that situation happen to me. And then I always get angry at myself. I'm like, dude, why didn't you just trust your gut? Like, you knew this was coming and you didn't listen to yourself. Come on now.
Yeah. We all have those moments. It's okay, though. That's what we're here to talk about it for. That was a deep sigh.
Sorry. It's because it's the disappointment.
So then comes the stolen item, right? Someone asks me to help recover something valuable, but deep down I already knew it's not just misplaced, it's gone. So it makes you think about the things in life that we try to recover. Things like trust, peace, relationships, confidence, things that are lost that you want back, right? It could be anything. Sometimes we're looking for something that was lost long before we even admitted it. Oh, that makes so much sense.
Damn, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's real.
And that's crazy because I had done readings about, that part of my life before that dream, before that outcome. And I was always told the same thing, like, this is just a lesson to be learned along the way. This is just, this is the other people that it had to do with were people who were, in other words, too immature, could not meet me at my level. But I wanted so bad to build them up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I get for wanting to build people up.
Hey, but that also falls into the perspective of you can't change people unless they want to be changed.
That is so true. That is so true. And it's crazy the amount of people that are stubborn.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't understand that. And, you know, I think that people who are stubborn in their ways are just exactly that. And they're never going to see it another way until it's time to see it from a third point of view. In other words, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then by that time, it's too late.
Yeah.
By that time, it's too late for you to come back and just say, oh, you know, I see what you've been saying this entire time. Like, girl,
Girl,
you can stay from that third point of view looking.
You can stay from there. You can
You can keep looking from that point of view over there in the corner of the room.
learn that lesson over there. Anyways, so then the woman fascinates me too because she's not powerful at all. And she's not like she's not towering over me. She's lying on the ground beneath me. And yet she's still creating the chaos. And I feel like that's immediately to draw me to like the level of consciousness I'm at versus the level of other people around me or like other situations I was allowing to affect me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like you're way above that. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So that made me think, how often do we allow small, chaotic things to take up an enormous space in our lives? This is only just one time that I'm catching something like that, catching myself in the action, right? I can't imagine how many times before that I've done it that I can count. Like, we got to learn our lesson someday.
Yeah. Either the hard way or the easy way, but we do learn it eventually.
Yeah. And then she laughs, right? So the laugh, that laugh bothered me more than anything. It was like cackling creepy.
Can you imitate it?
No. It's like, you remember that one video we made as an invitation to your Halloween party where I had to dress up and cackle?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I remember that.
It was like that. And if you know, you know. If we go way back
Oh
like
my
that,
God.
you know what
we
I'm
gotta
talking
find
about.
that video now.
Oh, hell no.
This is the video we were talking about.
So yeah. Sometimes again, people don't seek resolution. Sometimes they simply want a reaction. And that's one of the things that she resembled to me or symbolized to me, right? Sometimes the disturbance is the point of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we're tested in that way to see how disturbed we can be, how much we can react to something. People do it to us all the time. Not just like, you know, tests from the universe. It's people too.
That's true. People poke and poke and poke.
So yeah.
And then once they get the reaction, they're like, whoa, like, calm down. And it's like, girl, you asked for that.
Yeah. And that, you know, that the ending is my favorite part because out of anything, I didn't want to sit there, get revenge, find answers. I just wanted to go back outside to look at the moon. Whatever the moon represented, it just felt like truth, right? And it felt like the one thing that hadn't become distorted the whole time.
That's true.
The one thing that was solid. So, yeah, that was the dream. Definitely a weird dream to be having just to get the message that, you know, the truth has been there all along. I was like, okay. And then like, now the weird dreams are really starting to roll in. I sent her one this morning and she was like,
No, for real, I was sitting there reading it and I was like, hello?
yeah.
Like,
So
yeah, that was wild.
might have, depending on how often they roll in, because that's common for what I'm going through, might have to be just a separate segment where we talk about the weird dreams I have.
You know what's crazy is I have not dreamt recently. The last dream that I remember having was maybe like last week. And for whatever reason, I've been having actually a hard time to sleep. And the last dream that I had was about me at like a buffet or something. And there was like, I was at Food Town. And like Food Town was like this new like rebuilt version of Food Town. Like, it was super nice and stuff. And I was going through all the aisles and I was like seeing all the different kinds of food. And I was like, oh my gosh, everything looks so good. And I specifically remember an ice cream sandwich of chocolate chip cookies.
It's always some kind of sweet with you. Last time it was sweet bread, and now you're talking about ice cream.
Dude, I swear, when I seen it in my dream, I was like, damn, I want some. And I remember waking up and I was like, should I go get a sandwich? An ice cream sandwich? But I didn't go get one. But yeah, it was weird. It was a bunch of like rich food. Like, all the food looks so good to me, but I never ate any of it.
Interesting. The dream was trying to comfort you and you didn't allow it. It could be because you're not sleeping.
Yeah.
Ice
Yeah,
cream sandwich sounds good right now, LOL.
You see, I'm not the only one.
You know what? It does. And I've been craving ice cream.
Yeah.
Like, I just told Rory, I'm like, let's go get ice cream cones when mommy's done.
It's because it looks so good. And then I remember seeing like the ice cream, the one that I don't know what it's called, but it's like a cone, and then it has like the vanilla ice cream, and then it has chocolate on top with like some walnuts.
Oh, the drumsticks?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Those are my favorite.
Those be smacking.
But then freaking, you gotta buy them at the store, because then the paletero passes by and he wants to sell them to you like $6 a pop, and it's like, chill, daddy, chill.
That's true. That is very true.
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. So, that dream got me thinking not just about dreams, right? But about people and the strange things that people do to one another, which brings me to our next story. Are you ready for this?
Oh my God. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Y'all, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous about telling the story. Only because it actually really creeped me out. And also, the person that I actually found the story on tells it way better than probably what I will. I'm going to try my best.
Do you know the name of the podcaster so we can credit them?
It is called Insomnio.
Okay.
That's the podcast that I found it on. So you can go ahead and like get them credit. It's from FEPO, FEPO. It's a Spanish podcast, and they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stories of like brujería, demons. They talk about like, I don't know, anything and everything you can think of. They talk about that's paranormal, haunted houses, all kinds of stuff. So I had come across one video and I was like, ooh, this is a good story, because it was actually originally I was going to tell a story about a man who did brujería on his amante. Because I thought, it's so funny that everybody always thinks like it's the females that do the brujería. But there's men out here doing the brujería too. But then I was like, let me keep looking. So then I came across this story. And I'm going to pull it up to make sure that I like tell it detailed and the best that I can, y'all. Because I was telling my sister earlier, I had to spend the night at my parents' house because I was that scared. And I don't know, it just really got to me. And I'll like point out specifically the part that really, really scared me when I was listening to it, like for the first time. But yeah, let's get started. So this story originates from Cali, Colombia, by a person named Isabel. This is the first time you hear it, right? Oh my God, we're going to get a raw reaction from Crystal. Okay, so the story affected 3 people, which was Isabel, her mom, and her dog Lucas. Like, I know Lucas isn't a human being, but everybody sees their dogs as like part of their family, So that's why they say it's like 3 people that got affected.
Hi, mommy.
And so, hi. And so the story begins with a little bit of background of how it all began. So Isabel has a tia named Ruth, and Ruth is sisters with Isabel's mom. So at a very young age, there was jealousy that was built up on behalf of Ruth, because Ruth was the older sister. Isabel's mom was the younger sister, and everybody always said, oh, Isabel's so pretty, Isabel said this. She had all the attention. She had all the attention from the guys. She was always invited out to the parties and stuff. And Ruth didn't so much care about it, but obviously it kind of like affected her. So she kind of had like this hate and like this jealousy of Isabel's mom as they were growing up. And so further on in the story, sorry guys, I lost my. So Ruth was right. So Ruth. Sorry guys, I'm trying to find where I left off. Okay, so one day, obviously this is when they're still growing up, when they're younger. One day there's a boy that comes to Isabel's house, Isabel's mom's house, and where Ruth were growing up. He comes and he knocks at the door and he tells the parents of both of the sisters, he's like, hey, you know, I'm interested in one of your daughters and I'd love to like date her. And so the parents are like, well, who are you talking about? And they go, Isabel's mom. But the thing about this boy was that Ruth was obsessed with this boy. She was in love with him. She like wanted to be with him. Like this was the man of her dreams. So when she found out that her sister was the one getting his attention and how he wanted to be with her sister and not her, like just imagine that hate and jealousy that she had already multiplied and like exemplified into like a whole different level of like hate towards her own sister. And so from that day forward, it was kind of like Ruth found any kind of excuse to make any kind of rumors to kind of like destroy Isabel's mom's like family or like reputation or anything like that. So much so that obviously they grew up and Isabel's mom got married, had kids, got a divorce from the dad. And one day the dad comes to Isabel's mom's house and says, I want to take our son out of the country for vacation. It's going to be a couple months. So I just need you to sign the paperwork to allow me to take him out of the country. So Isabel's mom is like, yeah, no, for sure. Like, let me sign it real quick. She signs it. Bam. By that same week, like the dad and the kid were gone. So it was just Isabel, Isabel's mom, and then Isabel's older sister that were living in the house, and then the dog Lucas. And so it just took that simple action of Isabel's mom to make Ruth turn the story around and start telling the family, the friends, the neighbors that Isabel's mom sold her kid for money. And that whole rumor started. So then everybody was like, oh my gosh, like, did Isabel's mom really do that? Like, how could she do that? That's so messed up. That's her own kid and she's selling him for money, blah, blah, blah. So then that passes. Now it's the year of 2015 and Isabel's mom was informed by people that her own sister, Ruth, had been doing brujería on her. So like random people were coming up to Isabel's mom saying, you know, I don't know if you know this yet, but you know, Tia Ruth, she's doing stuff to y'all. Like she's doing bad stuff to y'all. And Isabel's mom was like, no, like she would never, like, I don't think so. Y'all are all full of crap. And so 1 year passed. So now it's 2016. So approximately 10 years ago from this year, because it's 2026. All the rumors and all like the talking mess and trying to destroy their reputation. Isabel and her family like didn't really care about it. They were like, it's just a bunch of talking mess. It goes in through one ear, out the other, right? And so they kind of brushed it off, and like haters will always be haters. However, after that 1 year passed, things began to take a turn at Isabel's house that slowly began to progress into worse and worse and worse things. So Isabel says it all started one night. Isabel explains that the roof of their house where they lived, it was made out of like aluminum, and it was in the shape of like a triangle. So it was like that was like the roof. You know how like roofs are built, they're triangles. And so Isabel says she went to bed like she normally did at night and was in deep sleep when suddenly she hears a bang on the roof. And so she kind of like, what is that? So she starts looking at the roof, and then all of a sudden you just hear like somebody walking.
Oh, hell no.
And so she's hearing steps, and it stops right where her head is laying towards the roof, exactly on top of where her head is laying. So she's laying there and she's like trying to be logical about it. Like, oh, maybe it's an animal that fell from the tree and it's crawling or whatever. There was nothing else that happened besides the bang and then the footsteps. So she was kind of like, she had like this weird gut feeling that something was off. Something was throwing her off, but she listened more to her mind instead of her gut feeling, turned around, covered her head, and went back to sleep. Nothing else happened that night. So then, the next day, the next night, the same thing happened. She woke up on the first bang that she heard. And she knew it wasn't an animal this time. After the first bang, she heard a second bang, harder, followed by multiple footsteps this time. So she was hearing, but a shit ton, like a lot more. And so as it was, you know, scraping, it stops exactly where her head is at, where she's laying, and she's looking straight up at the roof. She couldn't believe it, but she wasn't scared like the first time. So the next day, the same thing, and the next, and so forth. It happened so often that she began to kind of like get used to it. She was like, oh, I already know this is going to happen, so whatever.
No, let's find out what it is. Oh my God.
So it escalates. One night it was raining super hard, harder than it had ever rained before. Because of the rain, all she could hear was the raindrops hitting the top of the roof. So you could hear, you know, like the raindrops.
Where's the rain stick?
I know, where's the rain stick? And so she went to sleep like any normal night, already expecting the sounds that she had already been hearing. But during the night, she hears a huge bang.
Why you gotta go louder? Shit.
Because that's how hard it was.
Oh my God.
It was super loud, right? Louder than ever before. So loud that it overpowered the sound of the rain hitting the roof. She wakes up, looks up at the roof, and begins to hear the footsteps again, stopping exactly on top of her head. And then it stopped. When she tried to look around the room, she could no longer move. She could only move her eyes, and her body was frozen. Isabel says that she could barely breathe, and she tried to gasp for air, but she couldn't. So just imagine somebody literally like that. So suddenly she began to hear more bangs on the roof, all hard, and then a bunch of footsteps walking on the roof. She looked towards the window that she had in her room and saw the shadow of the light post that was outside of her room. Then she suddenly hears a sound of someone almost sliding down the light post with claws. So like,
that is so descriptive and like,
right? So she soon saw a shadow covering the window and heard a loud scream like a bird of the shadow that was covering her window. At this time, she could feel the drops of sweat literally falling down her forehead because of how much she was trying to force herself to move and to run away. But she couldn't move. She was still paralyzed. She was so scared that she didn't even want to look at the window anymore. And suddenly, when she looked to the left-hand side to try to avoid the window, she felt almost like a presence of like humidity and like wetness right here.
ew.
And all you heard was,
Ew, no. Oh my God.
literally somebody breathing on her neck. She could feel the breath, like the breathing on her neck and her ears. And she was like freaking out because she's like, there's something right here, and she was scared to turn around to look. And so when she turned to look towards the window, she saw all over the wall at least 10, not animals, humans. 10 humans on the wall in her bedroom that were crawling all over the wall on all fours.
Oh.
On all fours, dude. On all fours. That scared the hell out of me. So then, she continued to gasp for air, but could hardly breathe. She's still trying to move. She can't move. And suddenly she hears someone say, "Perra."
Oh my God.
And in an instant, she is able to move and run out of her room and runs all the way to her mom's room. Isabel's mom asked her what was wrong, but Isabel could barely breathe. She was like freaking out because of what she just saw, and she couldn't like logically explain it. So her mom is like, please calm down. Like, tell me what's going on. And finally, after she calms down, Isabel starts telling her about everything that she experienced from the first night, about the first bang and the crawls all the way up that led to that same night. So Isabel said after this happened, a few days later, her dog named Lucas had always been a very hyperactive dog. You could tell him, Lucas, let's go play, or Lucas, let's go do this, or whatever, like to grab his attention. And he would begin to like wag his tail like a normal dog. Dogs that are always happy and you play with them, they get all excited. But out of nowhere, Lucas was no longer acting like this. He was apagado, or like turned off. Isabel says Lucas sat facing a corner and he was in this trance almost, just looking into the corner aimlessly. She would call him, Lucas, let's go outside and play. No reaction. Lucas, come get your food. Here's a treat. No reaction. Just dead staring at the corner of the room. And so Isabel tells her mom, something's not right. Something's going on with Lucas. So the mom tries to get Lucas's attention. Well, when she tries to do that, he slowly turns around and looks at her and begins to cry in like pain. He's like, so then as he turned around and looked at her and did that, he freaking jolts out the room, leaves all the way outside, and goes to hide under a car. And all you could hear is because the dog is crying. And so Isabel's like, what's wrong, Lucas? Like, come out from underneath the car. Well, she forcefully grabs him and like pulls him out, but then he tugs back, right? And then she was like, Lucas, like, come out here now. Well, the dog begins to drag himself on the ground, dragging himself in pain. He comes out from underneath the car. The dog was full of ticks. There wasn't one part of the dog's body that did not have a tick on it. She said even like around the eyes, around the eyelids, there were ticks on him. So then she's freaking out. She tries to like pull off the ticks and stuff. Dog takes off and goes back under the car and doesn't come out for the rest of the day. So Isabel calls a doctor and says, hey, my dog has a bunch of ticks. He's hiding underneath the car. I need help taking them off because he won't let me take them off. And so the doctor's like, bring him first thing in the morning and we'll remove all the ticks from him. The night passes. He doesn't come out from underneath the car.
Oh my God.
The next morning, she wakes up. She goes over to the car and she's like, I will explode this car if I need to, but I'm going to get my dog out from underneath this car and I'm going to get these ticks off of him. So she gets on her knees, grabs him by the freaking leg or whatever, brings the dog out. There's no ticks on him anymore. He's normal. Like if nothing had happened. But he's back in the trance. He's apagado. Like he doesn't know what's going on. So they take him inside. At this point, a few days pass. He loses weight. Like you could see his skeleton over like a 3-day period. And then she tells her mom, she's like, something's not right. Something's off. The mom goes to get holy water. She throws the holy water on the dog. She throws the holy water on his bed. And she literally gives him holy water to drink. She replaces his water with holy water. The dog drinks it. Back to normal like nothing. But the mom had a plant called a chucha in the front door of their house. Beautiful plant. Green colors, red colors, beautiful plant, always blooming. After she did that with the dog, she went out to go check on her plant. The plant was completely dead, and it smelled like dead animal. Yeah. So at this point, Isabel's mom is like, no, like something is off here. Isabel said they began to feel almost crazy, like if they were seeing things that weren't really there. So Isabel's mom comes back to the house with holy water, ruda, and other herbs. She began to cleanse each room, including putting oil on the mirrors. That same night, Isabel fell asleep, feeling optimistic that things would be getting better. After the cleansing, Isabel says that at night, the same thing happened. Suddenly, she heard a huge bang on the roof and footsteps. Same thing. But this time, Isabel said, you know what? I can't do this. Like, I physically, mentally can't do this. She gets up and she walks straight to her mom's room. But as she's approaching her mom's room, she heard her mom crying and talking to Isabel's older sister, saying, it's because she's evil and she will never stop until we are all dead. And I don't know what to do anymore. The second day, Isabel sees her mom with her head down on the table in the kitchen. Isabel asks her mom what's wrong. Isabel's mom says, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. Last night, I heard a bang and then footsteps approaching her, the same thing that Isabel had been experiencing. I opened my eyes and she was an ave, or in other words, a bird. A dark, huge bird that was on top of my chest. I couldn't breathe. She extended her wings and she shook them and placed them on her neck. She began to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze tighter and tighter and tighter. I tried to breathe, but I couldn't. And suddenly she opened her beak and said, Perra. You took everything from me, and now I'm going to take everything away from you.
Oh my God.
I looked to the right and saw my rosary. I grabbed it and began to pray. She let me go, and she stared at me with so much hatred. She walked backwards to the corner of the room and disappeared into the darkness. Isabel asked a bird, like, well, what do you mean a bird? And Isabel's mom says, no, it was your tia Ruth. So Isabel said she began to investigate. She went to her grandma's house one day, and it just so happened that tia Ruth was there.
Oh, God.
Isabel looked at Ruth, and Ruth looked back at her. Isabel says, hi, Grandma. Hi, Tia. Tia Ruth just looks back at her. And Tia Ruth says, now she's talking to her mom because Isabel's grandma's there, so it's her mom. Tia Ruth's mom is there. So she's talking to her mom. She says, Mom, do you believe in God? Mom says, of course I do. Mom, I love God. Every day I go to Mass, and I am a woman of faith. I am the best out of all your daughters. I am the most devoted. Isabel looked at Tia Ruth, and she could feel the manipulation and the complete control her tia had over her grandma and the whole situation. Isabel saw her grandma's reaction towards Ruth, a look of like proudness in her daughter for saying what she had just said. And in that moment, Isabel knew in her gut that Ruth was the one doing brujería on her and her family. Isabel left. Isabel had a long conversation with her cousins and told them someone's doing brujería on them. We can't handle it anymore, and we don't know what to do anymore.
Her cousins, not Ruth's children.
Ruth's children.
Oh, Ruth's. Okay.
One of her cousins says, I can't keep holding on to this anymore. I need to tell you the truth. Since I was a kid, I would go with my mom, Ruth, to a store where she would buy black candles, skulls, herbs, and things that would stink, like dead animal. Bad, just bad odor. And in the house, there is a table that has pictures of you and your family. And there, every day, she turns the candles on and sits in front of the pictures and closes her eyes. And I don't know what to do, but I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. So Isabel says, she wished she could end this story on a better note, but 10 years have passed where her and her family can no longer sleep normal. They are deeply petrified of the dark, and they have no clue how to stop this from happening anymore.
And you're telling me the story made it onto a podcast where I'm sure they interview big time brujos and brujas.
Yes.
And they still don't know how to stop it.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay. But I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
Based on everything that you just heard on this story. What's the first kind of advice you would give a person who's going through that?
There's different ways to go with it.
How would you go about it? If somebody came to you and said all this and said, I need your help, what would you do?
Limpia, banish, protection, return to sender.
Real.
Oh my God, dude. No. So basically you're telling me that because I've studied this before, right? So you sit in front of the altar and she's closing her eyes to meditate in order to astral project and, make things happen, right?
Yes.
So, and she's doing that as she's also metamorphosing herself as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that she's actually there, but she's giving the what is it called? I want to say the presumption. I don't think that's the right word, but she's giving the idea that she's there. She's making them feel like she's actually there. And brujeria a lot of the times is mind tricks. Mm-hmm. You got to break down the person. What is that?
Energy saver turned on.
I had a full battery. What happened? That's crazy.
Trippy.
What was I saying? Oh my God. Yes, you got to break down the mind before you can infiltrate the energy field. That's the most that's exactly where you're going to hit it if you're going to do it right. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that it built up slowly up to the point where it's at now. There is a way, but it takes a lot of, it takes somebody good, somebody who knows what they're doing to clean yourself of all that, to banish it, to protect yourself. So I say protection is essential because 9 times out of 10, if you have protection set up or if you are protected spiritually, you're good. They cannot infiltrate you.
Yeah.
But you have to be strong at will at the same time.
That's very true. It astonishes me. When I first heard the story, it astonished me that, first of all, this is her own sister, full of so much hatred. So much hatred that it's been there since childhood, all the way to this current year. And this woman is still doing the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's, I can't understand people who hate on a level that way. But and
it's crazy because if you paid attention to the beginning of the story, it literally started obviously there's surface level hate and jealousy because, oh, she's prettier or whatever. But the reason it escalated was because this boy came and said that he wanted to date your sister and not you. So that gives you every reason to go a lifetime trying to destroy your sister's life and scare the hell out of her kids.
I'm baffled. My mind is blown right now.
I'm telling you, man.
That's crazy. Oh my God. People suck, dude. Like,
people do suck.
and it's so, because I like study the light of everything, right? You have to know obviously the bad, but I don't do the bad. But like the light teaches you that you approach everyone with love and kindness and you see them as one, no matter what is done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how could you approach that?
Girl, but I'm thinking like in a situation like that where it's been going on for years, there's so much like power behind this sister that's built up over the years.
Well, not only that, it's the power, but it's also the fear that they fueled that power with.
Yeah. And so my thing is like, when you even approach this, like, and let's say you get to a point where you make her vulnerable enough to be able to banish basically this bruja, I don't think you have any other option than to actually have to return to sender. Because if not, the work that she's doing, yes, you like narrowed it down to an energy field where it's not that strong, but it's still there. It still exists. It could still come back to you.
Yeah. And then depending on the protections that she has up too.
Mm-hmm.
As a return to sender is so iffy, you have to know what you're doing. You have to divinate before you do anything, first of all. If you were to just divinate, again, a good brujo that can help them would know that they just need to divinate to know exactly what needs to be done to break it down and banish it. Because divination will tell you exactly what protections are set up. Divination will tell you how the person is protected, other than what they have set up. If your work is going to be successful or not, what you need to change if you need to change anything. Like, that's exactly why you ask spirit before you do anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, above all, do not be fearful. And also when you're experiencing signs the first time, don't just ignore it. Oh my God.
Y'all, okay, backtrack to like whenever she first experienced it, about hearing the footsteps and the bang, and then like when it escalated to the point where she saw the people that were crawling on all 4 feet. Y'all, I scared.
It would have been the first night for me, the scratching and all that. I would have been like, oh no.
Not all, yeah, no, that would have been it for, I would have been like, out, sorry, bye, that's it, God is here, bye. But the simple fact that you sat there and waited for people to be crawling on your wall on all 4s, girl, I would have a heart attack and die. I'm not even playing with you, dude. That is literally my worst fear. If I ever see somebody crawling on the floor,
oh my God,
that it took me out, y'all. When I heard it in the story, I was like, that was my 13th reason why.
obviously it wasn't because you're here.
No, you're right.
I'm done.
No, but yeah.
Oh my God, I'm just still like mind blown. And then, oh golly, Jesus Christ.
And the other part that tripped me out was the simple fact that she sat in front of her mom. The audacity and the hypocrisy of not only like towards her mom, but also to God, for you to sit there and say, I'm devoted. I love God. I go to church every day. What?
Oh, but she probably has her mom in a sweet jar.
Probably.
That's real.
I don't know, man. This story tripped me out.
That is definitely a trippy story. And again, why I always say protection, literally.
Hell yeah.
And not just one level, multiple levels of protection. You know, again, yes, we're all covered in the blood of Jesus, but it doesn't hurt to, be extra.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, guys,
my God.
that was my story that I brought today.
I don't even know what else to say.
What'd you think about the dog?
The dog was creepy, but animals tend to be very affected spiritually, especially before the humans do. Dogs can pick up. They have like that sense. So do children. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. And the ticks is what threw me off completely. Like, tripped me way out. Golly, I don't know. And I'm thinking about like the things that, you know, she was probably putting them in cursing them, like making curse jars and just curse in general. You're speechless, Crystal. Oh, yeah. I am. I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, black candles are used for baneful magic. They are also used in protection magic. You're talking about skulls. They were probably trying to work with some kind of demon, because you know the fact that the humans were manifesting and stuff, like the things that they were seeing tells me that the person was probably working with some darker entities to work for her, basically to go to those people and torment them. And it's still happening to this day, so they have some deep cleanup to do, and they really need a good brujo. Actually, I really like, I don't remember what her actual name is, but they call her La Bruja de Justicia. She's been on those podcasts too.
De Venganza.
Yeah,
The lady with the blonde hair.
Yes.
Girl, I learned a lot from her in one of her episodes.
I love watching her stuff, but she is one of them, like, I'm going to fix this for you, but I'm getting justice too, and there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's who they need right there. That's exactly who they need.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
No, I know. I would be reacting the same way right now, but that was me yesterday when I was hearing the story. Oh my gosh. I was tripping out, y'all.
People are, you know, as we like to say, bitches be bonkers.
They're crazy.
And especially when they're insecure. That's what happens. You know, power comes out of insecurity, but also bad things happen. Like, she can't be living a fulfilling life if she is still tormenting them 10 years later, if that's all she's focused her time and energy on, right?
Obviously.
So not only is karma like gonna end up kicking in, you know, eventually, or maybe that is her karma, is she doesn't get to live a fulfilling life because she's so focused on their unhappiness. She's also miserable in her own ways. Who's to say she's not going through it? But that fuels, again, that desperation, that hatred fuels the evil stuff that she's doing. And that's what really sucks.
Yeah.
What's her name? Whose name? The
Bruja de Venganza.
The Bruja de Venganza. I watch her on the, how is it called? The abnormal.
Extra abnormal. Sorry.
Like Extra Abnormal podcast. And it's a guy who interviews like different brujas, like people that, you know, have knowledge of the occult and, you know, witchcraft and whatnot. And that's that bruja right there.
Yeah.
She know what she doing.
Yeah, she has a lot of good cases that she talks about. A perfect example, just really quick. The last story that I heard from her was about an amarre. This female was married to this guy. He fell out of love with her, divorced her. The female went to her, that bruja de venganza, and told her, I want him to come back. I want to be with him. Blah, blah, blah. So then she goes, well, if you want this to happen, you're going to have to make a pact. Well, what do you mean a pact? A pact with the demon. And if you fulfill your part and you get what you want, at some point you're going to have to pay for what you asked for.
Is it the story that ends with the fire?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I've told that one before here.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
That one's perfect because like they tell her you need to protect your kids, and she's like, oh, I don't like, they're baptized and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, she goes, they're baptized, because she knows that's the divination part that people don't realize. She already knows that there's a pact that needs to be done, what the terms are, what the outcome is. Like, this is not a good idea, and she did warn that lady over and over again, and that lady was aferrada.
She even made the lady, I don't know if you know this, she made the lady sign a damn disclaimer.
Yeah.
She was like, you gonna sign this before I do anything for you.
So then what happened, right, is that she signed the disclaimer, they did the work, and then it was the night of the wedding. because she got mad, right?
Yes.
It was the night of the man's wedding, and
The
she
man's
got
wedding.
mad, went over there, caused a scene. And she even got him to leave with her, right?
I think they were about to leave together.
Something like that. A villager comes back, and he's screaming. He's like, oh my God, your house is on fire. Your house is on fire. What happens?
All three of her kids were in the house and they couldn't escape.
Yep.
So all three of her kids were killed. And after that, the man ends up staying with her, and she ends up in a psych ward.
Right. That's the end.
And he still visits her up to this day. Porque ahí se quedó.
Not everything is worth it, guys. The anger that you feel over the small stuff is not worth it. This is why everything starts in the light first.
No, seriously.
Like, if people were to learn that, I was explaining this literally, right, the other day to somebody who's just going through it, right? And I'm like, we need to heal you. We need you to, and at this point I have to switch around my practice, right? First is because what I'm going through. I'm like, I'm going to walk you through this step by step, but you're going to have to do your part too. And I'm like, what you need to do right now is, you're at this point where you're at an all-time low because you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are outside of this relationship is what the issue is. Outside of this relationship that's been long over, by the way. This person has just been hiding out and just at their all-time low. And I'm like, you need to ask yourself, outside of everything you think you are, everything you tell yourself, everything that people describe you as, everything that can be said about who you are. Think outside of all of that, and who are you really? And I was like, this answer is simple. And it's the same for everyone. We are all one soul having a human experience. And if you were to just approach it that way, there would be no hate.
That's true, because you would just look at it like, okay, this is just part of the experiment. Experience, sorry.
Yeah. And that's where I try to stay grounded in my practice, is that we are all humans. We're all souls at the end of the day, having just human experience. We all share the same purpose. We are all the same. We are all this bright light, white light, just roaming the earth.
Yeah.
Because we are not, the mistake that we made yesterday. Mm-hmm. That's not what we are. We're not the future that we're going to be, the future person we're going to be. We're not none of that. You think you're going to go to heaven and God is like, oh, this was the doctor that won all these awards and saved all these lives. No. God is just like, this is a beautiful soul. And he thinks that of all his souls. Mm-hmm. No matter what we do. Mm-hmm. That's why forgiveness is available.
And not just for others, but for yourself, most importantly.
Yes, girl. Amen. The lemonade is spicy. Sorry, guys. I'm back. I'm basically getting my voice back after not having it for like 2 weeks, and I'm excited over here. Oh my God. Yeah, no, that's crazy. We got to stop hating each other. We got to stop being so angry with life. We have to start looking at the brighter side of things. There's always a brighter side. There's always a reason why things happen. Again, I feel like you're staring into my soul.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's because I'm paying attention to what you're saying. Damn.
And so like if you were to start approaching it from a different perspective, you wouldn't be so bitter. And we all are guilty of having bitter moments. That's okay. But we need to get ourselves out of that and not make that our permanent identity.
Yeah, that's true. I used to be a bitter person.
We all were. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's lighten things up a little, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Sorry, we're doing a whole 360 right now.
She said, love, forgive, and get a tattoo, period.
Okay, period. Also, life is weird, and then you just die.
Literally.
I always say that.
So I have to ask, Has Mercury retrograde been kicking anybody else's ass lately? I know earlier you were like, oh my God.
See? Yes. For me, yes.
Seriously though, technology, communication, scheduling, dreams, emotions, old memories, old people. Please tell me I'm not the only one.
Yeah, like, have y'all been feeling like a weird type of way or?
Oh, more than that, girl. More than that. She said, yes, girl, yes. Whether you believe or whether you follow astrology or not, Mercury retrograde has become one of those things that people joke about because so many people notice periods where communication feels messy, plans get delayed, or things from the past seem to resurface. So Mercury rules communication. And so that's why they say you shouldn't be making plans, you shouldn't be signing contracts, you shouldn't be making big decisions during retrograde. I would add the other stuff, but then I'll give it away. Mind you, it was not the decision that was made. It just happened.
It just happened, y'all. Just happened. Just remember that.
It was the strawberry moon.
Things just happen.
I'm not going to lie. It was the strawberry moon that did it for me. Strawberry moon during retrograde. When you know, you'll understand.
Talking about a new phone, I've been needing a new phone too because mine has been lagging and I dropped mine in a pool.
Who said I had to get a new phone? Oh yeah. Okay, so I know there's a parasite going around, but there has been a lot of sick to the stomach people around me. I've not been bubble guts lately, but like people around me have been bubble guts.
Not me though. Y'all stay safe.
Short fuse, yes, for sure. I'm feeling the short fuse too. Yeah, so some people see this time as meaningful, and I guess that's the ones that it goes good for. Some see this stuff as a coincidence. Either way, it gives us a reason to slow down, double check our communication, and maybe laugh a little when life gets weird, which is all I've been doing.
Yep.
And let's be honest, if your phone is glitched, if your GPS has betrayed you, your printer suddenly declared war on you, or somebody from 2018 texted, "Hey stranger."
What the hell? You just listed like 2 or 3 things that have happened to me.
You're probably not alone. It's happening everywhere.
It's crazy.
Mercury retrograde is definitely a time where you want to just chillax and relax. Okay.
I heard it's specifically a lot worse for Aquariuses right now.
Yes, because it is in Aquarius.
Because it is in Aquarius. So, me. Loki, I've really been going through like a weird phase.
This has been literally the weirdest one because also there's the conspiracy theory that the CERN machine has been shut down.
Oh, I heard about that. And like when it turns back on, we're going to be in a different reality, but only certain things are going to be different.
Yeah, but now apparently there's a switch around in Mandela effects. Like people are remembering things now that they didn't remember before. There's that. There's people dealing with awakenings. There's people getting pregnant out of nowhere. There's people just going through it. There's people with no periods, people double periods this month. I'm like,
oh, please no, not me.
So, Mercury retrograde is doing the thing this time around, and I am not. You know what? I'm here for it. I am here for it.
I'm here for it too, but I have found myself wanting to like fall into old mindsets.
Don't do that.
And I'm not doing it because I've been fighting it. But I do find myself like, damn, I used to think like that. Why am I thinking about it now? But I've been very strong. So, yeah.
Good. So my freaking Mac is going to die soon. I'm doing a quick new moon reading because we did have the new moon just a few days ago. So here is the collective. Come on. Interesting that all of these came out at once. This is the time to be changing it up, guys. The tower is showing me a huge time of transformation, which makes a lot of sense with Mercury retrograde. This may be knocking you all the way down on off your feet.
on your feet.
You may feel like you're falling all the way down right now and you're on your ass. And that's totally normal considering we are in retrograde. The focus here, though, the message, but behind all of that, the things you need to think about is, first of all, stop waiting, trying to watch again for the fruits of your labor to bloom. Stop focusing so much on that, because it's not going to come to fruition if you continue to do exactly that. Kind of treat it like you would treat a succulent. You water that shit and just leave it alone for 2 weeks. Come back and water it a little bit more, and all of a sudden it's like grown new leaves. Like, treat it kind of like that.
That's what I'd be doing.
I really went with the plant theories. And this is also a period where a lot of people are walking away from things that no longer serve them. Again, that is very in theme with the whole full moon to new moon. We are in the new moon, so that means that we're trying to embrace new things for this new month. Walk away from what it is you need to walk away from already. You already feel it. Again, it's knocked you on your ass already, so there should be no reason why you are holding back. And then there is there again with the falling on, I feel like everything is just around the same thing here. You're feeling a lot of lack of inspiration here, lack of motivation. Your fire is dim. That's temporary, guys. It's again having to do with this whole period of transformation. The advice here is to embrace the transformation. Embrace it for what it is. Accept it for what it is. It feels like shit right now. But come tomorrow, or whenever, metaphorically tomorrow, it's going to be better. It's going to be okay. And again, stop waiting for your cup to fill emotionally. Do some filling of your own cup. We all deserve it. So just take some time for self-care right now. Mm-hmm.
That was real.
Yeah. That's your collective new moon reading. Thank you all for joining us on Tiny Table Talk. Lily, do you want to leave us with anything? Any words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom.
The plant lady, LOL.
I don't, I just feel like what you just said, just embrace the transformation. Not everything will come out your way the way you want it, and that's okay. If life is steering you in a different direction, then just grab onto the handles and go with the flow. It's going to hurt. It's going to be weird, and it's going to be like, damn, why me? But at the end of the day, it's going to be all worth it.
It's either you're going to struggle and you're going to drive that shit like the freaking Walmart carts that be hard as fuck to push because they're so old and messed up. It's either that, or you're going to take it like a 4x4 in the mudding and you're going to live your life.
You see, that's what I'm saying.
Get on the 4x4. Fuck that cart.
No, seriously.
Anyways. Good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.